Hey guys, this is JoAnn speaking here, and welcome to Paleo Reviews. Once again, I'm going to do something different today, although I was slightly hesitant at first because what I'm about to talk about is part of an ongoing new series that recently started as of recording this. The original plan was to wait until the rest of the short films come out, but something about this one in particular is very worthy of an individual review video, and I was like, why not? Terrible Lizards, an animated short film created by a YouTuber called Dead Sound, also known as David. This film is the first addition to Dinosauria Volume 2. Terrible Lizards center around two dinosaurs, a herbivore called Iguanodon and a carnivore called Megalosaurus. This Iguanodon accidentally comes across a nest full of eggs, and as it turns out, this Megalosaur is a mother. Then crap goes down between these two dinosaurs. Much like the first Dinosauria series, it's like Prehistoric Beasts from 1984, where there's no narration and it shows dinosaurs being dinosaurs, but more modern. However, this film is different in a way. As the film continues, the reconstructions of these dinosaurs change through transitions, going from the 19th century to the modern age. I gotta say, this really surprised me, but it is an absolute welcome one. This short film is not just about showing dinosaurs in action. This is a celebration of paleontology and how the viewpoints of dinosaurs have changed the past 200 years. It doesn't need words to show that we've come a long way with these animals. The film even shows that even by today's standards, there's always appreciation and recognition for the outdated/retro dinosaurs from the past due to both general fascination and serving as time capsules in the evolution of paleontology. We wouldn't get far without them. Even the title Terrible Lizards is appropriate. It sounds insulting to call dinosaurs terrible, but with context, it makes sense. The term Terrible Lizards refers to the meaning behind the name dinosaur, and dinosaur is a combination of two Greek words too. All thanks to the man himself, Sir Richard Owen, who came up with that name in the 1800s. Although I recently found out that it can also mean fearfully great lizard, but honestly, I'm more used to the meaning terrible lizard since I grew up hearing that a lot anyways. As for what I like about this film, first off, it would be the choices of dinosaurs used for this film. I think it's very appropriate for Terrible Lizards to use Iguanodon and Megalosaurus as the main dinosaurs because they were the earliest discoveries dating back to the 1800s. Considering this film was technically starting from the beginning of dinosaur discoveries, I'm glad it didn't just choose any other random dinosaurs and call it a day. Seeing other retro dinosaurs would be cool and interesting to see, but Iguanodon and Megalosaurus suit better for the subject matter. Another thing I enjoyed would be the transitions. Like I said before, we get to see how some dinosaurs looked throughout the years as the film goes on. What I really appreciate is that even with all these transitions, Terrible Lizards continues the same exact scene. And it's not just the designs, there's also changes of some dinosaur behavior, but with each change, behaviors such as constant roaring, sluggish movement, etc. were shown in sections that are appropriate for how dinosaurs were viewed in each era. Last but not least, I enjoyed looking at all the designs with Iguanodon and Megalosaurus. What else can I say? The designs were very well made and fitting for each era, whether it be lizard-like, standing upright with the tail down, Renaissance, or modern. Even the colors were used carefully too, and it wasn't until it changed into the Renaissance where the film is in different colors, much like how filming changed over the years where it used to be black and white. Also, I will admit, looking at the previous designs of these animals made me feel nostalgic. I can't remember how old I was specifically when I got into dinosaurs for the first time, but the old designs made me think of when I was looking at numerous dinosaur picture books as a kid. The same thing also applies to when I watched numerous documentaries and movies as well in my youth. Walking with Dinosaurs, Dinosaur Planet, Jurassic Park, T-Rex Back to the Cretaceous, The Land Before Time, and the list goes on. The perfect phrase to describe it all: oh, how times have changed. But in a good way. Now you might be wondering, do I have any problems or critiques with Terrible Lizards? Not really. I personally don't have any complaints to make about this short film. There is one part I've seen people talk about, specifically towards the end. During the part where we see the modern age, the mother Megalosaurus and her babies walk out of their cave and watch over what's going on outside. We then see a herd of Iguanodon, including the same one the Megalosaur fought, walking out of the scenery. The reason why some people have issues with that scene would be that, as it turns out with what we know today, Megalosaurus was long dead before Iguanodon evolved. Although seeing Iguanodon and Megalosaurus together going from the 1800s to the Renaissance was more justified for other people due to limited studies during those times. I get why some people have issues with that, especially with today's standards where you're expected to know which dinosaur lives in a time period, But at the same time, I am personally not bothered by that part. Considering we've seen all the other different designs of these dinosaurs, it makes sense to see Iguanodon one last time. Since there's no dialogue, I think what this film is trying to tell the viewer about this scene is that things are different today with how we view these dinosaurs, including which time periods they come from. So the Iguanodon herd leaving symbolizes that they come from a different time, and never coexisted with Megalosaurus. As it turns out, after reading the comments below, I was not alone with interpreting that scene. Speaking of that scene, I took a peek at the making of video on Terrible Lizards, and David said that originally he was going to have the Iguanodon herd vanish into thin air, but that was changed into just the herd simply walking out of the scenery. When I saw the original ending, I was just all like, oh man, I'm glad that was never put in the film. I like what we got much better in that film anyways, because it flows more naturally for me rather than having some dinosaurs going poof out of nowhere. As for any favorite scenes, one favorite scene of mine would be the part where the Iguanodon walks in the cave, and as soon as it realizes there's eggs, it had the "oh crap" look on its face. I can't help but laugh at that part. I also like this brief overlay of a VHS tape when the film made the transition into the Renaissance. I already talked about my nostalgia moments, but that part made me think of the times I watched a bunch of movies on videotapes. You really don't see VHS tapes being made anymore nowadays, which is pretty sad. To conclude, Terrible Lizards is phenomenal. David once again put his heart and soul into making this film, much like he did with the first volume of Dinosauria and his other series called Sauria. It's a beautiful tribute to how far we've come with the knowledge of dinosaurs, and I'm really excited to see what's next. This short film has wonderful visuals, clever storytelling, stellar dinosaur designs, and has respect on paleontology both in the past and in the present. Terrible Lizards from Dinosauria Volume 2 shall receive 10 out of 10 sickle claws. In case you guys are curious, I did watch Sauria and Dinosauria Volume 1 in full, although doing a review on them is still being determined as of recording this. I'll just see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a good day, and I'll see y'all later.